Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Stoic Compass. I'm Jim.
And I'm Ellie. So glad you're with us, diving into another fascinating corner of Stoic philosophy.
Before we jump into today's mindbender, a quick favor. If you're enjoying our discussions, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It helps us out tremendously, bringing more Stoic wisdom to the masses. Thanks.
Yes, your support truly fuels our philosophical explorations.
All right, Ellie, today's topic, it's got me scratching my head a little. Stoicism and comedy?
I see.
I mean, my understanding of Stoicism is, being super serious, very disciplined.
Right.
Comedy usually involves, slipping on a banana peel, right?
Well, yeah, laughs. That's a common misconception, Jim.
True.
And that's precisely what we're here to unpack today.
Makes sense.
We're diving into an incredibly insightful piece by Michael Connell titled, fittingly, Stoic Comedy is Not an Oxymoron.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
So it's not an oxymoron?
Exactly.
My world is already being challenged.
Indeed, but let us consider Michael Connell's argument.
Right.
He's a comedian, and he's on a mission to create a stand-up show entirely dedicated to Stoic philosophy.
Absolutely.
He argues, much like Seneca, that laughter, and a lot of it, is the right response to the things which drive us to tears.
Wow. Seneca said that? I always picture him just writing really long letters about grim situations.
He did, but the Stoics were far more nuanced than often portrayed.
True.
Michael points out that some ancient Stoics were quite witty.
I see.
Perhaps unintentionally, yes, but witty nonetheless.
Uh-huh.
Think of Epictetus's tough love with his students. Sometimes his lessons border on sharp observational humor, or the dark humor you can sometimes find in Marcus Aurelius's Meditations when he's reflecting on the absurdities of life.
Meditations, huh? That's quite a stretch for a laugh track.
Perhaps not a full laugh track, but a wry smile, certainly.
Yeah.
And let's not forget Chrysippus, who reportedly died from laughing too hard.
I see.
That's a pretty strong endorsement for Stoic humor, wouldn't you say?
Well, I'll be darned. Died laughing?
Right.
That's intense.
Yeah.
So not exactly the emotionless robots I always imagined.
Exactly. That's the core misconception.
Right.
Stoicism isn't about eradicating emotions. It's about mastering them.
I get it.
It's about not letting external events dictate your internal state.
Absolutely.
And similarly, it's not about eradicating humor.
So how does a comedian like Michael make a Stoic comedy show work?
Good question.
Because comedy often thrives on, huge, exaggerated reactions to external events.
Yeah, exactly.
My buddy always jokes about that time he got drenched by a rogue sprinkler.
I see.
Big reaction, big laughs.
Absolutely. Precisely. That's the initial conflict Michael faced.
I see.
Comedy often thrives on our anger, our sadness, our frustration.
Exactly.
If practicing Stoicism meant he'd experience those feelings less intensely, where would his comedic material come from?
Yeah, tears of a clown syndrome, right? The classic comedian struggle.
Absolutely. But after much thought, Michael had an aha moment.
Right.
A moment that truly aligned with Stoic principles, the solution to our problems.
I see.
And indeed, a lot of comedy lies within ourselves.
Exactly. Oh, interesting.
Instead of criticizing the outside world, like, airline peanuts are stupid, they make me frustrated, Michael shifted his focus. His Stoic comedy bits now criticize irrational reactions to the outside world.
Got it. So it's not the peanuts, it's me.
Exactly. It becomes, I'm stupid. I make myself frustrated opening airline peanuts.
Makes sense.
This internal shift, examining his own irrational beliefs,
Yeah.
has not only helped him write material he's proud of, but also deepen his Stoic practice.
That makes sense. It reminds me of what we talk about with the dichotomy of control, right? It's not the external event, it's our judgment of it.
Precisely. He likens it to the disputing technique used in cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT,
Right.
which, as we know, has deep roots in Stoicism.
Makes sense.
And the best part? He says he'll never run out of material.
Yeah.
Because as long as he's not a full-blown Stoic sage, there's plenty of crazy to draw from.
Well, yeah. That's a good point.
Right.
We've all got our quirks, even when we're trying to be more Stoic.
Absolutely.
I know I'm still trying to apply the principles to, my patience levels.
Totally. It's a journey, not a destination. But Michael faces another significant challenge, his audience's unfamiliarity with Stoic ideas.
Yeah, I can see that. If you're talking about not getting mad at telemarketers, people probably nod along.
Makes sense?
But if you say it's irrational to get upset about a flight delay, some folks might look at you sideways.
Exactly. He gives that example. If you say telemarketers make you mad, people nod in agreement.
Right.
But if you say extraterrestrials make you paranoid, suddenly you're considered crazy.
Fair enough.
To Michael, the disconnect between these two is ripe for comedy. But it's hard to land because the audience doesn't grasp the Stoic premise that others don't control your emotions.
Right. Because if you don't control my emotions, then why am I getting mad about something someone else did? It's on me, not them.
Precisely. So, To overcome this, Michael is constantly working on explaining key Stoic concepts in simpler, more concise ways.
Makes sense.
He really integrates this into his routines to make it digestible.
Got it.
In fact, he's often seen in Stoicism forums asking, "What's a simple way to explain eudaimonia?"
Good point. You can't just drop philosophical terms on a crowd expecting laughs.
Absolutely. His current show largely focuses on the dichotomy of control, the idea that some things are within our control, like our beliefs and reactions, and many things are not, like external events.
The old control what you can control mantra. My grandpa always used to say something similar when the cows got out. Can't control where they wander, but you can control how fast you run after them.
A perfectly Stoic sentiment, Jim. By changing our beliefs about externals, we can change our emotions and, with practice, learn to embrace life joyously, no matter what it throws at us.
So it's not about being emotionless. It's about choosing our emotional response, and that choice can actually lead to more joy, even humor.
Exactly. And this ties into the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of adversity.
Whoa, that sounds heavy. Premeditation of adversity, like planning to be miserable?
No, not at all. It's about mentally preparing for potential setbacks.
Makes sense.
By anticipating challenges, you can develop a more reasoned and virtuous response when they inevitably arise.
Exactly.
It helps you cultivate acceptance of what you cannot change.
Got it. So like a mental fire drill. If I've already thought about my reaction to a sudden downpour, I'm less likely to curse the sky and more likely to just, find shelter.
Precisely. It builds resilience. And that resilience, that inner calm, can be the source of a different kind of humor, one that comes from understanding and transcending the absurdities of life rather than being a victim to them.
That makes sense. It's like finding the humor in your own ridiculous reactions instead of blaming the world. It's a very humble approach to comedy.
Indeed. This internal focus also connects beautifully with the Stoic emphasis on reason. By pausing, as we've discussed in previous episodes, we create space for rational thought, rather than being swept away by emotional reactivity.
Right, not just reacting impulsively, but choosing a response. I'm trying to do that more. Sometimes it works, sometimes I still yell at the television.
Progress, not perfection, Jim.
Right.
It's all part of the journey towards becoming more like the ideal Stoic sage who embodies perfect reason and virtue.
I see. Makes sense.
We may never truly reach that point, but the pursuit itself is what truly matters.
So Michael's comedy is helping him on his sage journey and maybe helping others on theirs too.
Exactly. His goal is to film this show and make it freely available on YouTube and perform it live, and even combine it with workshops for schools.
Makes sense.
He's even talking with a producer.
That's right. That's ambitious. The media world is a tough nut to crack.
He knows it. As a fellow creative, he knows the media world is a great lesson in what you don't control, but he's confident he can get it done at a decent community TV quality.
That's a very Stoic approach to a creative endeavor. Accepting what you can't control in the process.
Absolutely, and before it's filmed, Michael is actively seeking input from the Stoic community.
Right.
He wants to ensure his show is not only funny but also accurate.
I see.
Avoiding common pitfalls like overemphasizing happiness or getting bogged down in historical details.
So he wants to make sure it's good comedy and good Stoicism.
Precisely. He's looking for essential Stoic concepts that simply cannot be left out, and simple, real-world examples to explain them. The explain like I'm 5 approach.
That's a challenge I face sometimes on this podcast. How do you make these deep philosophical ideas relatable to everyday life?
Indeed. So, if you're listening and have thoughts on how to humorously yet accurately convey core Stoic ideas like the dichotomy of control or any other fundamental principles, Michael Connell is all ears. His project is a wonderful example of how ancient wisdom can be presented in fresh, accessible, and entertaining ways for a modern audience.
This really challenges my perception. The idea that mastering your emotions and living rationally doesn't mean becoming dull or humorless. In fact, perhaps it allows for an even deeper, more resilient kind of joy and wit.
Exactly. True inner peace, from a Stoic perspective, isn't the absence of feeling, but the absence of disturbing feelings. And within that peace, there's ample room for genuine, unburdened laughter.
Well, I'll be darned. A Stoic with a punchline. I like it.
Laughs. Absolutely. It's about finding humor not despite our challenges, but often within our responses to them.
That's it for today's deep dive into Stoic comedy. What a refreshing take.
Indeed. We encourage you to seek out Michael Connell's work. You can find his article, Stoic Comedy is Not an Oxymoron, on Modern Stoicism's website, and keep an eye out for his upcoming stand-up special.
Thanks for hanging out with us on the Stoic Compass. Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and maybe find a little humor in your own irrational reactions.